And hello, my fellow nerds out there. This is Orlando Richie, and welcome to Golden Bonds. This is another game that was created by Meant to Be Studios. I don't know why I haven't gotten to playing it yet. uh, but this is a game that they made a while back for like a game jam, I think. I don't know. I don't know. It was like some sort of game jam. I think they made it for. But I wanted to play this game a while back, but I got caught up in the other game. I saw Hellspin. I thought I should give it a video. And so, anyways, we're here playing this game now. So let's just go ahead and start. For all my life, I have been lonesome. Not that I lacked people to play with or nursemaids to dote on me. My parents were distant, but what else do you expect of royalty? No, the problem has always been within me, under my skin, waiting. Gold was my favorite color as a child, sparkly, luxurious, ironic. Now it's everywhere. Golden plates, gold door handles, cups, golden teddy bears, golden pillows, golden cracks in my skin. Everything I touch. Everything. It's been this way for as long as I can remember. Well, no, I can remember glimpses of life before. Warm skin, firm touches. Then nothing. Empty air. Sparkling dinnerware. My parents were overjoyed. More gold than they knew what to do with. But as I grew, I knew what it really was. My curse. There was no cure, no easy way out. It was a hopeless case, and we all knew it. One has given up, easy to do when most of them never started. Everyone but him, perhaps. You're here. Finally, it's freezing. He'd have some metal arm around my shoulders, pulling at his cloak with his free hand to wrap it around both of us. Wait, am I playing as a... I'm guessing I'm playing as a lady, right? He's done this more times than I can count, but my chest still squeezes with fear when his warm hand strays too close to my skin. Mind your hand. Oh, Priya. Okay, so that's her name. Her name is Priya. And his name is Kairo. Okay. I nearly confused it with Kaito, like the Vocaloid. Just a hand. A second squeeze. Not fear this time, but something else. Kairo is bad for my heart. He starts walking without another word. Our bodies huddled as closely together as we dare. Like, why are we huddled together as, like, penguins, bro? It's bitterly cold out here. Winter winds whip at us without mercy. There's a little time to stop and chat. But that it never stops Kairo. I can barely read today. Quit squeezing on my arm. I've told you 100 times. Don't bother me. Right. I mean it. Quit staring. That's an order. Princesses don't take orders from knights. Well, if they don't want to trip over the cobblestone, maybe they should. I'd have an easier time if I knew where we were going. The fat duckling. Don't laugh, your daddy named it. Sounds like him. Doesn't it just? What's it with him and ducklings? You have like 1,000 of them in your bathhouse. He has exactly 37. I counted. You were that bored? Not much else to do up there. I've been busy having tea parties with foreign nobility for years now. No time for people, for mother, for me. You could have found me. I'd have played with you. At bath time? We've done it before. We were 4. You still wore my dresses back then. And what of it? If I could pull off one of your gowns now, just watch me. No need. You've grown into a fine man, and it's a pleasure to see. I wouldn't put you in a position of discomfort just for a jest. Ah, well. And your shoulders are far too big. You'll stretch all my collars out. I'm taking all that as a compliment, you know. Good. It was intended to be. Cut it out. You're gonna embarrass me in front of our new friend. Look, my cheeks are all pink. That could simply be the cold. Nah, he's too smart. He'll see through me in a second. Oops, supposed to be a surprise. I hate surprises. What the stars are you planning? What are you planning? I don't know what you mean. I would never plan something. I'm a terrible planner. You planned this. And there's still time for it to go terribly, especially now that we're here. The building is humble, sparsely decorated, but I could hear the crackle of fire inside and the low chatter of people. Good enough for what we were doing. Kairo pushes the door open with a flourish. After you. The place is packed, people huddled together to block out the cold, yet nursing cold glasses of beer in their hands. The irony makes me smile, but it's nice. I enjoy the normalcy of it, I think. But everything falls away when I spot him in the center of the crowded room, at the only empty table. Ah, is that him? What? How'd you know? He seems the type, mystical, and he's the only one sitting alone. What do you think? Hard to say. Looks can be deceiving, but if you can vouch for him then? I think you'll like him. Liking him will be a pleasurable side benefit. I'd much rather he be competent. He's competent and likable. I know how to pick him, pinky promise. Well then, if it's a pinky promise, I'll place my utter faith in both of you. Let's go say hello. Also, I just need to ask, like, I know it's probably a thing in cartoons, but how do people bend their tails like that? Like, does she actually, like, have a tail? Because that'd be pretty interesting to know. How do you bend your tail in such a way? Like, wouldn't it... You know what, I'd rather not question a fantasy world. Let's go say hello. He doesn't look up when we cross the room, flicking impatiently through a purple-covered book. It matches his clothing. Does he color coordinate everything? I'm almost tempted to sneak a glance under the table and try to spot some purple socks. Or purple other things. I don't know, what, like shoes? He doesn't look up when we sit either. I raise an eyebrow at Kairo, who throws me a worried smile. Clears his throat. Only then does he notice us. Ah, Assad. Okay, so that's your name. He tucks the book away with a nod. He does not return Kairo's beaming smile. Your Majesty, it's an honor to make your acquaintance. There is no need for formalities. I am hardly fit to be anybody's princess at the moment. I see. Call me Priya, if you would. You know what? You know what's kind? I think it's kind of weird though. Honestly, it's probably just a weird coincidence because my ex girlfriend's name was Priya. Like that was actually the name of my ex girlfriend. Hilariously enough. Pretty sure I wonder what she's doing now though. She's probably fine. Call me Priya if you would. And I'm Kairo. Yes, I was aware. Oh, right. And what should we call you? He raises an eyebrow. Kairo did not introduce me? He wanted it to be a surprise. Right, naturally. I am Assad. I possess some magical knowledge, more than most anyway. In his letters, Kairo mentioned something of a curse. That's right, breaking a curse, specifically. As far as I've been told, you're the man for the job. You'd be right. I happen to specialize in the less respected tradition, shall we say. You seem tense. There's no need to worry. We aren't going to inform the guard. With all due respect, my lady, a member of the guard is sat at this very table. Who? Who, me? I'm no snitch, especially not when it comes to Priya. He's had many years of practice in keeping my secrets. I see. If we are forging formalities, may I inquire as to the nature of your relationship? Oh, you're asking if we. Bruh. Way to be blunt, Kairo. Oh, you're asking if we fought. I said nothing of the sort. Kairo snorts. Assad looks as if he's trying to sink into his chair, already eyeing the exits. No shame in it. It's natural to be curious. To your question, we do not, as we put it. Fuck. I can't take this too seriously. If anything, that's kind of the problem. Jeez. Bro is smooth like freaking cement. Wait, cement is rough though. Oh well. Assad lets out a long pained wheeze. The flush on his face goes all the way to his collar. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. We're not hiring you to help us in the bedroom. I don't need any help with that. He winks. It doesn't help things. I should put him out of his misery. Winding up Assad is just too funny. Honestly, both is pretty good. Honestly, it's too funny in my opinion, but I should put him out of his misery. We're friends. Childhood friends. That's all. Yep, we're the same age, give or take a couple months, so I've known the princess forever. We're very comfortable with one another. I can tell. I shouldn't have pried. My apologies. No need. I love talking about myself. We're not so easily embarrassed. I have been well acquainted with many of Kairo's lovers. There is nothing you could ask that would surprise me more than the questions and stories they had. Do I even want to ask? Probably not. Let's move on, preferably on the task at hand. The curse may be difficult to discuss, but the more information I have about it, the easier this will be for all of us. Of course. I've been cursed since I was a child. To put it simply, everything I touch turns to gold. Assad raises an eyebrow, no doubt considering the material benefits of such a condition. Everybody does it so at first, imagining what they could do with such a power, so much money. It takes some explaining before the person realizes the ramifications of such a thing. I have gotten used to watching the gears click, spotting the moment their minds change. Sucking a breath, readying myself for yet another pleading explanation. No, it's not useful. Yes, we still need the help, blah blah blah. Kairo rests his metal hand against my knee, comforting me with a subtle squeeze. How terrible. And ironic. Whoever placed this curse on you sure has a sense of humor, giving a golden touch to royalty. Arguably the folk who need it the least. Oh, that's new. I can't stop the surprise on my face. Apologies, that was terribly rude. No, not at all. You're rather right, actually. It was a little rude, Princess. You were, what, 4 or 5 when it happened? That's some sick sense of humor. You were too small to have done anything wrong. For someone with a vendetta of this kind, I'm sure being born royal at all was justification enough. But it makes no sense. She was just a kid. Oh, I confused their voices for a second. A kid with more opportunities than anyone else. Perhaps that is why they did it. Some sort of poetic justice? Boy. I'd like to hear him out, Kairo. Please continue. To clarify, these options are not my own. While I would not pretend to know you as well as he does, Your Majesty, You seem respectable. Please call me Priya. All the platitudes make my skin crawl. That's my point, actually. You're unlike other nobles. I have had the occasional misfortune of meeting. Perhaps that was the point? Meaning? I agree it is unlikely that whoever placed this curse on you had a vendetta against a 5-year-old little girl. A problem with her parents, however, it's possible. Saw taps his fingers against the table, his fingernails against the table, tilting his head. Kairo leans forward, ever so slightly drawn in. There are plenty of people who take issue with the leaders of our country. No offense intended. None taken. I would count myself among them. Really? He seems genuinely surprised. It almost makes me smile. I have not kept my distaste for my parents a secret. Then again, I am kept in a secret from people. I have not had a public appearance in many years. They are my parents. If I have some affection for them, I can admit that. But they haven't been good people, nor good rulers in many years. Strong opinion for a princess. But a necessary one. I have had to sit idly as my parents flog golden trinkets to our neighbors, while our crops die in the cold, and our people starve. Rotten folk. You as well, Kairo? Yeah. Think Priya's too kind for them? Frankly, for all they've put her through. You would consider my curse a gift. They have dissuaded me from seeking a solution in the past. That's one way to fucking put it. A knight and a princess going against royal decree. Fascinating. Well, when you put it like that, you make us sound like rebels. Are you not? No comment. We didn't come here to talk politics, right? We may not have a choice. If the creator of this curse is indeed some enemy of your parents, we may have to examine possible political enemies. Countries your family have been at conflict with, enemies of a palace, rebels you heard about in childhood. Can you recall anything? I'd have to think about it. No matter. Let me know if anything comes to mind. I have some simpler questions in the meantime. You say everything turns gold. All materials, living or non-living, or organic and inorganic, I should say. Everything. Kairo lifts his arm off my knee and flexes his fingers slowly. We found that out the hard way. Oh dear. Yes, when we were younger, I touched his wrist in lapse of judgment, and now it's... Kairo snorts, then shrugs, tucking his arm back in his side. It's nothing. Just an arm. He always does this, blowing off what happened as nothing important. As if he didn't lose an arm into my misjudgment, I feel. Guilt, relief. Ooh, wait, so it depends on how we feel here? I mean, honestly, obviously I don't blame her for feeling a little bit guilty. But I mean, the guy literally lost an arm because of it. So, I mean, I guess though honestly you probably should feel relieved because he's alive now. At first I was terrified he was going to die. Then when he survived, metallic limb and all, I thought he would hate me. I'm so glad he doesn't. Kairo is, and always has been, my best friend. Life without him would be unbearably lonely. Unbearable in general, I suspect. We might not be so lucky next time. I have been more careful since. Too careful, if you ask me. Good thing I didn't, then. Having a metal arm is not all bad. If she touches it, only the prosthetic goes gold, and stops right where the skin starts. Oh, so it's that kind of rule. So it's like if it's not made from the same material as what you're turning into gold, it doesn't turn gold. That makes sense. I think I'm okay with that. Still, I try not to. The gold makes it too heavy to use. That's why I got spares. I don't care how many spares you have, going through an arm a day isn't fiscally responsible. May I ask how you saved his arm? The object, or person in this case, doesn't turn gold instantaneously. It's a process. It's faster with objects. The smaller the size, the quicker the sparkle. Something like a fork turns gold in about a minute or two. His arm took 2 hours. By that time, we managed to find a doctor who severed it. Once removed, the spread stopped. Fascinating. Did you still have control of the arm at the time? Nah, just dead weight by then. Makes sense. So non-fatal to a point. What do you mean? Well, if the spread had continued to your heart, for example, all functions would stop. Your heart would be unable to pump, and your lungs unable to breathe. You would pass away almost instantly, the same as if she touched your head. I told you it was still dangerous. Well, we fixed it, didn't we? No harm, no foul. What is that even? Oh, never mind. And the gold markings on your face. How did those occur? Scar tissue. We can't fully explain it, but the spread only happens inside the scar, leaves the rest of the skin alone. That doesn't make much sense. Why would the person who cursed you spare the time to distinguish that? I don't know. Makes them pretty cool scars though, right? They're definitely shiny. Kairo beams, not entirely sure it's a compliment. And I assume that's the same for you, Priya? No, the markings just appeared. Same as the tail. Sorry, tail? Dude, do you not see the tail in front of you? I shift slightly, letting my tail flick upwards. It's an odd sensation controlling it, but not an unwelcome one. His eyes practically sparkle. It makes me feel odd. Extraordinary. It's a little unusual. The markings, the tail. We think the curse is getting worse. I fear you may be right. Then we have to cure it. That's where you come in, right, Assad? With any luck, yes. There are a few ways to deal with curses of this variety, but 2 are the most accessible to us right now. Curses tend to have some sort of trick to them. Flaws, fine print if you will. Very rarely do people make incurable curses. It would take immense power and suffering. Curses are not pleasant things to cast. So, if we can discover who put this upon you, why they did it, what the circumstances were, we may be able to figure out how to break it naturally, let the magic run its course, so to speak. But that will take time, money, resources. And the other way? You may simply be able to pass the curse on to somebody else, with the right magical assistance. And you could do that? Possibly. Well, we'll do that then. Pass it to me. Ignore him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, it's a simple solution. I always said I'd take the curse from you if I could, it meant it. And I always say I'd never let you. I meant that too. I won't hurt anybody else with this curse. It's my problem, mine alone. Priya. Stop it. You can't change my mind. I'll die if I let anybody else suffer with this. And I'll die happily. Kairo clenches his fist, staring down at the floor. I focus all my attention on Assad. I can't be distracted, not now. There are other options. What do you need? For what it's worth, Kairo, I think she's right. Yeah, of course you do. It wouldn't solve our problem, simply worsen it. Curses have been passed around and tend to get more extreme. They do? Stories of incurable curses can sometimes be traced back to their original, curable owner. But whatever drives the curse is never addressed, and so the original meaning is lost, along with its cure. Could fix Priya now may be unusable for you. Fine, but let's not write it off as a backup plan, alright? If that would make you feel better. Kairo rolls his eyes. Seems like they're getting along just fine. I suppose the first thing we must consider is whether your parents had notable enemies, Priya. There was the Korapati family. It wasn't there? Small noble family from somewhere I don't remember. No, I don't think so. Oh, wait, was that Kairo saying that? Oh, it was. My bad. I don't think so. There's been little fights my whole life, but they made amends again around the time I was cursed. Do you recall your family being acquainted with anyone particularly magical, if only briefly? Her parents really never went for that kind of thing, not till the whole golden hand spiel anyway. Wait, oh? I remember someone, a hooded figure, in the throne room. Assad pulls out his notebook with a practiced flourish, beginning to flick through the pages. Do you recall anything more? Red eyes, cold hands, a sort of crackly laugh? Sorry, Assad. It's all a blur. The image dances on the borders of my memory, glittering around the edges. Nothing useful. My shoulders sag. No need to worry. That's all I needed. He points rather dramatically to his upturned book, The Hermit, written across the top in big bold letters. The who? The Hermit, a local legend in the city, always wearing a thick woolen cloak made from fur of an unknown animal, their red eyes gleaming through the darkness. A local legend? You know those are made up, right? Assad sniffs, turning his nose up a little. I think you'll find it's perfectly real. In fact, the Hermit was something of a notable spellcaster among certain circles. Why they prefer to do their work here, I'll never know, but that works in our favor. They must have a workshop, a base of operations not too far from here. Kairo stands, suddenly slamming his hand down on the table. The room around us goes deadly silent. My hand twitches as if to reach for him. It remains in my lap, like a dead fish. Can you find them? We can ask around. That's not an answer. Unfortunately, Kairo, I don't know everything. I only have stories and second-hand accounts, but it's enough to give us a suspect. He's right. If the townsfolk know more about the legend, they can point us in the right direction. With any luck, we can find the likely hideout before dawn. I pause, smiling. We? Assad still, flushes a little and shrugs with purposeful ease. I assume my work was not yet done. You may yet still need magical advice. And, well, if my work is done, then... Not at all. I'd be thrilled if you were to accompany us further, Assad. Oh, I see. I'm only glad it did not require further convincing. I'm aware that Kairo and I can be eccentric. I'm just loud mostly. Your services will be compensated for, of course, but I'm glad to count you among allies. Best friends? We shall see. Assad rises to his feet, clearing his throat, moving the conversation swiftly on. We shouldn't waste time. It's not too late in the evening. We can still make our inquiries. Right, but let me do the talking first, okay? Think you two could stand out a bit too much. As you wish. Kairo vanishes into the first crowd of low-ranking guardsmen he can find, with a cheery shout and a wink back at us. Assad leans against the brick-lined wall of the fat duckling, his breath lighting up the cold air. There's several burning questions on my lips. Assad is something of a mystery to me. Kairo and I have known each other. Kairo I have known my entire life. I know him inside and out. He is familiar to me as my own body. But a mysterious purple-clad and allegedly magical stranger? Mind wanders. What to ask? Are all of your outfits color-coordinated, Assad? Do you keep a log of all the local legends? Ooh, both of these are pretty good questions. We'll even have music for the save screen, that's good. But I think I'm going to go ahead and leave this video here for now. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.
You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.